I was talking to my neighbor Frank the other day. Frank is 72, sharp as a tack, still does all his own gardening. But he mentioned something that stopped me. He said, I feel fine. I really do. But my doctor keeps looking at that blood pressure number and frowning. It's like this little cloud hanging over me. I don't want to be on more pills, but I also don't want to be the guy who ignores it and ends up in trouble. Does that sound familiar? Maybe you've had that same thought. You feel good, you're active, but that one number, it just keeps creeping up. And it feels like the only solution the world offers is another prescription. Well, here's the truth they don't always tell you. After 65, your body has been through a lot. It's lived a life. And sometimes, the systems that regulate things like blood pressure just need a little different kind of support than they used to. It's not about running marathons or drinking kale smoothies you can't stand. It's about working with your body, gently and naturally, to bring things back into balance. So, in this video, we're going to walk through 4 simple, powerful steps to lower your blood pressure naturally. No gimmicks, no extreme diets. Just practical changes that fit into the life you're already living. Things that actually make you feel better, not deprived. Let's start with the first step, and this one might surprise you. It has nothing to do with food, at least not directly. It's about the one thing you do every single night, sleep. We tend to think of sleep as just a switch. You close your eyes, and you wake up. But as we get a little older, the quality of that sleep changes. And here's the connection: while you're sleeping, your body isn't just resting. It's doing maintenance. It's calming your nervous system. Specifically, it's lowering the levels of stress hormones like cortisol in your blood. When you don't get enough deep, restorative sleep, those cortisol levels stay high. And cortisol is like the gas pedal for your blood pressure. It keeps your heart rate up and your vessels tight. So, step 1 is to prioritize your sleep hygiene. Now, I know that sounds like a fancy term, but it's simple. It's about creating a little ritual that tells your body, it's time to power down. Try this: about an hour before you want to be asleep, start dimming the lights. That bright, overhead light signals your brain to stay awake. Switch to a lamp. Also, and I know this is a tough one, try to put the phone or the tablet away. That blue light is a wake-up signal. Instead, maybe read a book, a real paper one, or listen to some quiet music. A consistent wind-down routine can do more for your blood pressure than you might imagine. It's giving your body the quiet time it needs to do its overnight work. Now, once you've started getting that better sleep, you'll probably notice you have a little more energy during the day. And that brings us to the second step, which is all about movement. But please, don't close the video if you're thinking I'm about to tell you to get on a treadmill for an hour. The kind of movement that helps lower blood pressure after 65 isn't about getting breathless and sweaty. It's about getting the blood moving in a specific way. It's about the big muscles in your legs. When you move your legs, especially the large muscle groups, it helps pump blood back up to your heart. This takes a huge amount of pressure off your circulatory system. So, what does this look like? It's walking, yes, but it's walking with a purpose. Maybe it's a 20-minute walk after lunch. But let me tell you about another secret weapon, the simple chair stand. You might know it as getting up from your chair. But doing it intentionally is powerful. Sit in a sturdy chair. Without using your hands, or using them as little as possible, slowly stand up. Then, just as slowly, lower yourself back down. Do this 5, 6, 7 times. What you're doing is engaging those massive leg muscles. You're forcing them to work, which pumps blood and strengthens your heart in a very gentle, controlled way. You can do this while watching the news. You can do this while waiting for the kettle to boil. It's one of the safest and most effective exercises for supporting healthy blood pressure. It's movement that fits into the cracks of your day. So, we've started with the foundation, improving sleep to calm the system, and adding in gentle leg movement to help the circulation. You're already doing so much to support your body. Now, let's move into the kitchen for step 3. Because what we put on our plate is powerful medicine. And we're not going to talk about what to take away. Let's talk about what to add. Specifically, let's talk about potassium. For decades, the focus has been all on sodium, on salt. And yes, salt holds onto water, which can increase blood volume and pressure. But for many people, especially as we age, the real secret is the balance between sodium and potassium. Potassium helps your blood vessels relax. It helps your body get rid of excess sodium. Think of it as the natural counterweight. And the best way to get it isn't from a supplement, but from food. So, step 3 is to find 1 or 2 ways to add a potassium-rich food to your day. This isn't about overhauling your whole diet. This is about adding a baked sweet potato with your dinner instead of a plain white one. It's about having a small banana with your morning oatmeal. It's about tossing a handful of spinach into your soup or your eggs. A half an avocado on some toast is another fantastic option. You're not depriving yourself of anything. You're just adding in foods that naturally help your blood vessels say, relax, it's okay. This one small shift can make a noticeable difference. So, we've talked about quieting the mind with sleep, getting the legs moving to help the heart, and adding in potassium-rich foods. These are all things you can start doing today. But there's one more step, and it's a big one. It's about the connection between your mind and your body, and how to handle the stress that life inevitably throws our way. We're going to dive deep into that in just a moment. And that connection between the mind and the body is more powerful than we often give it credit for, especially when it comes to something like blood pressure. You see, we talked about how poor sleep can keep stress hormones high. But what about the stress itself? The daily worries, the news, the little aches and pains that can make you feel on edge? It's easy to think of stress as just a feeling, something that's all in your head. But your body doesn't know the difference between a real physical threat and a stressful thought. When you're worried or anxious, your body goes into that fight or flight mode. It releases adrenaline, your heart beats faster, and your blood vessels constrict. It's a perfect setup for high blood pressure. And if you're in that state for hours a day, day after day, your system forgets how to come back down to a calm resting state. So, step 4, the final piece of this puzzle, is about giving your body a gentle reminder of how to relax. And it's simpler than you might think. It's not about meditating for an hour on a cushion. It's about something called paced breathing. This is a technique that has been studied extensively, and the results are remarkable. By slowing down your breath to a specific rhythm, you can actually trigger the body's relaxation response. You're sending a signal to the nervous system that says, we are safe. We can stand down. And when that happens, the blood vessels can gently widen and the pressure comes down. Here's how you can do it, and you can do this right now, wherever you are. Sit comfortably in a chair with your feet flat on the floor. Let your belly be soft, not tight. Now, breathe in gently through your nose for a count of 4. Don't take a huge, deep gulp of air. Just a nice, easy inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then, and this is the important part, breathe out slowly through your mouth for a count of 6. The exhale should be longer than the inhale. That longer exhale is what activates the calming nerve, the vagus nerve. It's like a brake pedal for your stress response. Try it with me right now, just for a cycle or 2. In, 2, 3, 4. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Again, in, 2, 3, 4. And out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doing this for just 5 minutes, twice a day, can have a profound effect. You can do it first thing in the morning before you even get out of bed. You can do it while you're sitting in a waiting room. You can do it right before you go to sleep, which will also help with that step 1 we talked about. It's a tool that's always with you. So now we have the full picture. We're improving our sleep to let the body reset. We're adding in gentle movement to help the circulation. We're supporting our system with potassium-rich foods. And we're using our breath to calm the nervous system. These 4 steps work together. They support each other. Better sleep gives you more energy for movement. Movement helps you sleep more soundly. And when you feel calmer, you're less likely to reach for foods that aren't so helpful. I want you to think of this not as a strict plan, but as a new way of listening to your body. It's about noticing the small things. Notice how you feel after a good night's sleep. Notice the sense of calm after a few minutes of slow breathing. Notice how that baked potato with the skin on tastes. When you start paying attention, your body will tell you what it needs. Now, you might be wondering, how long does this take? When will I see a difference in those numbers? And that's the exciting part. For some people, these simple changes can start to make a difference in just a few weeks. But the real magic isn't just about the number on the monitor. It's about how you feel. It's about having more steady energy during the day. It's about feeling more in control of your health, rather than feeling like a victim of it. It's about having that conversation with your doctor and saying, "Look, I've been working on these things," and seeing them smile instead of frown. So, let's quickly bring it all together in a way that feels manageable. Because I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. This isn't about doing everything perfectly starting tomorrow. It's about picking one small thing and making it a habit. Making it a habit that sticks. And that's really the secret to all of this. It's not about perfection, it's about consistency. It's about those small, almost boring choices you make dozens of times a day that add up to something extraordinary. So, let's talk about how to weave these 4 steps into the fabric of your real, actual life. Because a plan is just a plan until it meets the kitchen table, the busy morning, or the rainy day when you just don't feel like doing anything. Start with the breathing, because it's the easiest one to forget and the most powerful one to remember. You don't need any equipment, you don't need to change your clothes, you don't even need to stand up. I know a gentleman, his name is George, and he told me he was skeptical about this whole breathing thing. He said, "I've been breathing for 78 years, what's new about it?" But he agreed to try it. He started doing the 4 count in, 6 count out breathing every morning while he was waiting for his coffee to brew. Just those 2 or 3 minutes. After a few weeks, his daughter, who visits on Sundays, said, "Dad, you seem different. Calmer." He hadn't told her he was trying anything. That's when he knew it was working. And when he went for his next checkup, his numbers had dropped into a range his doctor was much happier with. George didn't change his whole world. He just changed how he waited for his coffee. That's what I want for you. Think about your own daily rhythm. Where are those natural pauses? Maybe it's while you're sitting in the car before you go into the store. Maybe it's when you first sit down in your favorite chair in the afternoon. Attach the breathing to something you already do. It becomes a trigger. Coffee brewing? Time to breathe. Sitting in the chair? Time to breathe. Now, let's talk about the movement. Remember the chair stands? That's your secret weapon. You don't have to schedule a workout. Just do a few chair stands during the commercial breaks of your favorite show. There's a show I watch, and it feels like the commercials go on forever. What a perfect opportunity. During one commercial break, do 5 slow chair stands. During the next break, do 5 more. By the end of the hour, you've done 20. Your legs have pumped all that blood back to your heart, and you barely noticed the effort. You just watched your program. And for the food, the potassium, don't try to change everything you eat. Just look for one meal where you can add something in. Maybe you're having a sandwich for lunch. Could you add a few slices of avocado? Maybe you're having scrambled eggs. Could you toss in a handful of fresh spinach at the end and let it wilt? You're not taking away your favorite foods. You're just adding a little something that helps your body do its job better. It's a mindset shift from deprivation to nourishment. When you approach it this way, it doesn't feel like a medical regimen. It feels like you're just living your life, but with a little more awareness. And that awareness is the ultimate goal. It's about becoming the expert on your own body. You'll start to notice things. You'll notice that on days when you do your breathing and your gentle movement, you feel more steady. You'll notice that when you've had a good sleep, you have more patience. You're collecting data on yourself, and that data is empowering. I remember talking to a woman named Ruth at a community center. She was in her late 70s, vibrant, with sparkling eyes. She told me she was tired of being told what she couldn't do. I can't have salt, I can't get stressed, I can't. She said it was making her miserable. So we talked about flipping the script. Instead of can't have salt, we talked about can have a banana. Instead of can't get stressed, we talked about can take 5 deep breaths. She called me a few months later. She said, I stopped focusing on what I was avoiding and started focusing on what I was adding. I'm not miserable anymore. And my blood pressure? It's the best it's been in 10 years. Ruth didn't get younger. She got wiser. She learned to work with her body, not against it. And that's the message I want to leave with you today. Your body has gotten you this far. It has carried you through decades of life, of joy, of challenge, of love. It deserves your kindness, not your punishment. These 4 steps, restful sleep, gentle movement, nourishing food, and calming breath, are not punishments. They are gifts you give yourself. They are a conversation with your body that says, I see you, I hear you, and I'm going to help you. So, as you go about your week, I encourage you to just pick one. Just one of these steps. Maybe it's the breathing. Maybe it's adding that avocado. Maybe it's the chair stands. Try it for a few days and just notice. Notice how you feel. You might be surprised by what your body tells you. And I would love to hear about it. I really would. If you try any of these, or if you have your own little tricks for staying healthy and calm, please share them in the comments below. Your story might be just the thing that encourages someone else watching. We're all in this together, learning and growing at every age. If you found this helpful and you'd like to join us again for more conversations just like this, I'd be so grateful if you would hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It helps more people find their way here, and it lets me know that these topics are meaningful to you. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Here's to your health, here's to your happiness, and here's to living your best life at any age. Take care, and I'll see you in the next video.